Today is Wednesday, the 3rd of May, so halfway through week 2 here this term. It seems like a really long time ago that we finished up term 1, but I just want to reflect for a moment on our Easter Hat Parade. So the first Easter Hat Parade that we've managed to be outdoors, COVID-free, and I was going to say rain-free, but if you recall, we did have to hurry along just a little at the end, and we had some slightly damp community staff and students. But it was a fantastic event for all of us. We had a really great time, and we thank you for coming along, for supporting us with the hats. It was a fantastic way to just finish up the end of term 1. Hopefully your vacation period was great. And as we roll back to school, we actually came back to school on Monday the 24th, and all of the staff in the Department of Education were engaged in professional learning, always focused on Aboriginal education. And the way that we did that in our local community of schools was coming together, the 6 local schools that are partnered with Pennant Hills High, and we had a full day of learning focusing on Aboriginal competency. And I've actually included down below in the newsletter today the agenda and to show what we'd worked on. And we stayed at the high school as part of that collective group through until about lunchtime. Then we came back here to school to have our own individual Thornlie West particular focus. Part of that included, though, acknowledgement of country with Aboriginal students from around our 6 schools, and a number of our students are featured in that on today's newsletter and on our website. You can access that video, and the students not only acknowledge country, but they answer a few questions and provide some advice to the staff who were there on the day, which was over 300, about what they would like teachers to know about them and how we're going to support them to be better learners. So do please click on well worth having a look, and I was very, very proud indeed of those students that worked with us throughout that project. Now today, early this morning, we started and we had our cross-country event. So we have had not a great run with cross-country. Last year, you'll recall, rain, until we finally had to just run around in circles on the field. The last few years, COVID put a stop to most of those events, but today was great. We managed to get outside. Everybody had a go. We've got all of our zone places organised. But more than that, a real sense of participation and enjoyment from our students. We had a large number of parents who'd come along to both help and to spectate, and a great day had by all. So whatever your level of involvement in that, in fact, if you're a student or a parent or a staff member, thank you so much. It was fantastic, and we are ever so pleased that we dodged a rain bullet. So that worked really real well for us. I've got a couple of other things in the newsletter today that I just want to draw everyone's attention to. It's a fairly long newsletter, I do appreciate, but I've got a bit of an article in there on the role of the executive staff. So at the school, as you'd imagine, at the end of the day, the buck stops with me, and that's as it should be. I have responsibility over teaching, learning, development of staff and others, and it's a whole range of those activities. But clearly for any one person to do all of those in a functional sense would be impossible. So I'm very lucky, surrounded by an executive team. Julie's my deputy principal. We work very, very closely together around those school goals and trying to keep our operation at a strategic level to make sure that we're promoting the best outcomes for our school and for our students. We then have a range of assistant principals with different roles who are responsible for the everyday implementation and development of pedagogy within those stages. So do please take the time, read through the newsletter. We'll probably, in working through that, understand some of our school processes that we do and how we delegate things to make sure that everybody's working in a way that creates to the best outcomes for everybody. And really important to make sure that we're all following through, because our goal is the same. Every person in our community, every student and every teacher, we want to make sure that we're doing the best thing for kids and we have the best outcomes possible. The other comment I've got in there is around communication. Now, I did outline this last year, but it's really important to us to make sure that we are able to communicate the most effective way possible. There are some places that you can go to make sure you're accessing information independently, which will help you get things in a timely way. So the first being the newsletter, and I'll just show you exactly how you can go about doing that now. Once you've found your way to the Thornlie West Public School site, the easiest way to do that is via Google. If you type in Thornlie West Public School, the website will be the top hit. The website links together a whole range of communication things from school. Normally my videos here, but today we've got the acknowledgement of country by our Aboriginal students across the community of schools. Further down, you can see the current newsletter. So if you've missed that, it's not in your inbox, you can click on it there. There is also a tab up the top which will take you to the entire portfolio of newsletters. You can see we've got some other options you can get to, the most popular being the term dates in calendar. By following through this, you can find what's happening at school. Worth noting, of course, that this particular calendar populates across into the central parent portal, and anything else that you need in terms of links back to the Department of Education. A lot of these tabs are centrally populated, and right back on our homepage here, you can see we get some news feeds from the Department of Education that are common to all public schools. The second place that's really useful as well would be the central parent portal. So I've got a bit of a video I've made just here that is on my screen. Just understand that I actually don't have a child here at school, so where it says test, that would be your children's names will be written there. But if you have a look and see how that pedal works, that'll give you access to quite a lot of information and quite a lot of functionality. Once you've got the central parent portal app open, and that should already be on your phone, if everything's gone well, if you're missing any details that allow your access, please let the office know and we can help you out. And you can see there's a number of tiles here. I guess the ones that are mostly important would be the news feed, absences, calendar, newsletters, and at times interviews, depending on the time of year. So it's quite simple. You can see the news feed, everything we've pushed out. If you click on those, you'll get the details of what's happening. You can run back to the home page, absences, show the absences, and you can actually explain those as well. That goes straight to the office. The calendar provides a link to the calendar that is on our website. Each of those little numbers will provide access to the details, and you can expand this information if there's further details available. Interviews, as we said, where we have interviews coming up, you can book them through the Parent Portal app. And finally, the newsletter feed has a list of all of our newsletters, and you can click on the Go to Newsletter option, and it'll take you to the individual week. There's also some matters that can't be answered via our website, can't be answered via the Central Parent Portal. So we recognise that we're a busy school, we've got a lot of staff here, but we've got a lot of parents as well, and we want to get information to people as quick as possible. And one key element we have in that is to make sure that communication is answered quickly by the person who is able to give the most complete answer. And generally that's a classroom teacher, but often our office will provide that information as quick as they possibly can. So where some communication comes into our school, in the first instance, the office will provide an answer if they possibly can. Where they can't, they will send that communication off to someone who can provide an answer for you. As I said, generally that would be a classroom teacher, occasionally an AP. As you'd appreciate, it's not possible for me to have the ins and outs on every issue at the school. I've got a really fantastic team that supports me with those matters. And as much as I would like to know all 555 students intimately, I really do have more of a general view, and I have my team here that supports me with that. So where one of those communications goes off, the AP in that instance is always CC'd in, and you'll get a response that says, thank you very much, your inquiry has been passed on to the most relevant person. My expectation is that you will get a call back or some communication back by the end of the next business day. And so in our world, business day means school day, of course. And the idea is to make sure that when you hear back that we have the information, we're able to resolve things as quick as possible to get you the information so you have the answer that you need, and we can all move on. That's how our system is designed to work. Where you've not heard back by the end of the next business day, something has gone wrong, and we don't want things to go wrong. So do let us know. But we're fairly confident in our systems. The teachers are well aware of how we're operating. It is worth understanding, of course, though, that my primary wish for the teachers is to make sure they're engaged in teaching and learning. There's a fair range of professional learning that happens after school here as well, and other commitments. So teachers don't have a huge amount of availability in terms of managing correspondence, but they do their absolute best on that. The reason we CC an AP in is to make sure that we're supporting all of our teachers and the APs can maintain that high level of understanding that's happening. One of the things that the APs do here, as I've said in the newsletter today, is to support me in leading and managing the school. So whilst a large number of emails would come to the school and they would be addressed to the principal or to me, in the most part, they would be attended to by an AP on my behalf, and they will keep me in the loop through our normal school processes. So do have a read. Julie's got a fair bit of stuff down below, and I think we've got a stage 2 update as well. Special mention for this week of our cricket team. On Monday, they played Normanhurst West. Public School, Upper Pennant Hills High. Unfortunately, we lost just by 2 runs. So a really, really close game for our girls. A fantastic effort, and we're hoping next time that we can maybe get one up on Normanhurst West. Fingers crossed. But from everybody here at Thornley West Public School, thanks for your help. Great fortnight so far, and we look forward to catching up in the near future.